Hello, class. My name is Clay Smith. You're joining me here in my office in South Alabama, Mobile to be exact. And thank you so much for listening to the video. And so, after our first reading with pages 3 through 56 of Classic Christianity, I wanted to touch on two specific things that I felt like were very important for modern day readers, those in Western culture specifically. And so the first thing was baptism for theology, which I thought was a really interesting idea. On page 9, Oden says Christian theology came into being to explain Christian baptism. And I think that that's really important for modern Christians to understand because uh, a lot of times individuals are baptized and they don't know much about the faith, and then we don't teach them about the faith so that they can better understand why they were baptized. And I feel like there's a disconnect between theological instruction and baptism that is very prevalent in the United States, and this is something that I can even see in my own personal faith background as I grew up Baptist and not understanding the connection between the two. But I feel like as a campus minister, I teach a lot of young individuals who grew up Methodist, and they don't understand a lot of their background because we don't train students as well as we should in theological instruction um, before and after they're baptized so that they might better understand the theology of what's going on. The next thing that I wanted to talk about was uh, emphasizing one attribute. And so on page 28, there is a discussion of classic Christian teachers warned against emphasizing one attribute at the expense of another. And so as we move into chapter 2 and begin talking about the attributes of God, there's a big issue today in America where we overemphasize one side of who God is and therefore neglect all these other aspects. And so we look in His Word and we say God is love, which First John tells us, but that is not the only attribute of who God is. He's also holy and sovereign, and so looking at that and seeing that we as a culture emphasize one attribute, then we allow certain sins and excuse certain things that shouldn't be allowed because we're only focusing on one attribute. Such as individuals who focus on the fact that God is only holy, they focus more on wrathful things rather than the redemptive side of God. And so I believe that that is another thing in which the Western culture needs to see that God is more encompassing than just the one or two attributes that we often attribute to Him. He is the culmination of many attributes, and we have to look at His full character the best that we can. All right, thank you guys so much.